Most people view Dexit as one of the most controversial moves Game Freak has ever done by making some of the Pokemon and other key items inaccessible in Pokemon Sword and Shield, such as Z Crystals and Megastones. However, Dexit is a blessing in disguise for this metagame, as it offers lots of options for a lot of Pokemon to shine. And with that, I am going to impart what I have learned so far in this metagame, as new downloadable content grants opportunities for it to develop. Tired of this rather short introductory speech, aren't you? With that, I won't let you wait any longer. It's time to proceed. What's up, YouTube? Ephanos here from Pokemon Showdown, and I will be tackling today Gen 8 Camomons. For those who have no idea what Camomons is, it is part of the other metagames department of Smogon University, in which the Pokemon's typing is determined by virtue of its first two moves. For example, you have a Mew with Thunderbolt and Hurricane as its first two moves. Mew will become an electric flying Pokemon instead of its original psychic type. So, since this modification is not an official representation of the standard Pokemon games, it is only exclusive for play in Pokemon Showdown. And speaking of the Camomons metagame, it is patterned from the Smogon's official tiering from the official's overused metagame. But there are Pokemon that may be usable in overused, are not allowed in the Camomons metagame because they are too much for the metagame to handle, such as Shedinja, Hydreigon, Terraora, and Kyurem. So apart from overpowered Ubers such as Solgaleo, Lunala, Asian, or Zamazenta, these four Pokemon are not allowed in the Camomons metagame. As for the mechanics, of course, Sleep Clause, that means at least no two Pokemon gets a sleep. And then Species Clause, which is you are not allowed to use 6 Mews. And of course, the Dynamax Clause, which is also deemed a metagame health hazard in the overused one, and also deemed a metagame health hazard in this metagame as well. So, if I made this clear already, and if this definition makes it clear for you, please like the video, and more content will be coming. So feel free, and I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. And now, with that, let's proceed to our tips and team building tricks. And as for this Camomons metagame, from Hyper Offense, Bulky Offense, Balance, Semi-Stall, and Full-On Stall, these archetypes are actually viable to a point that they have equal amount of success. And for now, I will be building a balanced team which features a Volcarona. And here's a team building tip and trick that there are some things that you have to consider. First, let's first feature a Volcarona. I put heavy duty boots in there because why not? And usually, the overused metagame, they have the standard set of Quiver Dance, Substitute, Flamethrower, and Bug Buzz. Which is definitely nice, but in the Camomons metagame, it's not. This is one of the pet peeves. That I criticize, because we're putting Quiver Dance and Substitute on the first 2 slots, meaning Quiver Dance is bug, and Substitute is normal, meaning Volcarona becomes a bug normal type. And it's not really a laughing matter, because losing stab on this move called Flamethrower, we're losing the same type attack bonus, and that means weaker damage output. So if you want to maximize the damage output of certain moves, you have to put Flamethrower in either first 2 slots, and then go for Bug Buzz, Quiver Dance, and whatever, Roost or Substitute, it's up to you. and then just have your EVs max. And here's another trip. Take advantage of another moves. Like for example, you can go for Giga Drain. See, it's a grass type, but Volcarona becomes Fire Grass. Or you could do Psychic, which becomes Fire Psychic type. Or you could do Flying by virtue of Hurricane. So take advantage of whatever moves a Pokemon can learn. With that, it takes advantage of the same type attack bonus, hence maximizing its damage output. Now in one of my teams, I actually paired Volcarona, being a Quiver Dance attacker, with another bulky Swords Dance attacker this time. With a Scissor in there, as one of the Pokemon introduced, alongside Volcarona in the Isle of Armor downloadable content. So Scissor, I put in whatever move you please, and then of course Ignition. And sometimes people have used like Swords Dance here, Roost, Split Punch, and one of the consent moves, Dual Wing Beat. Alright? Now here's the thing. Again, another pet peeves. If your Scissor doesn't have quick attack, it will lose stab. It will lose stab from your stab bullet punch. It's supposedly a stab bullet punch. So make sure that you put your desired move in your first slot to gain stab from it. So bullet punch, either you could go Roost or Dual Wing Beat. Be OC if you're OC about it, and I actually encourage you to be OC about it. Seriously. So Bullet Punch, Dual Wing Beat, and then you could go for Swords Dance. You don't have to bother about gaining stab from normal. And of course Roost, if you want a bulky Swords Dance attacker. And in my case, EVs here are customizable, but later on, as I will be participating in a Camomons Daily Room tournament later on, I will be presenting to you the EVs for each of my Pokemon. But just to give you some basics, make sure that Pokemon that you're gaining stab with must be aligned, or else it will lose stab, hence losing the damage output. Also, for a balanced team, of course, you need some form of speed control, and Scissor has some form of speed control, but it's not actually enough. So I actually put one of the sought-after Pokemon for speed control, apart from its other roles, known as Dragapult. Dragapult is a Gen 8 mainstay in the Camomons metagame, simply because of its blistering speed and has numerous options. You could go for Choice Specs, you could go for Choice Band, you could go for a Dragon Dance set. But in this case, I'm running for Choice Scarf because I wanted to act as a scout and as another form of speed control. Virtue of Draco Meteor, you could go for a Hex or Shadow Ball here. Doesn't matter as long as Draco Meteor Shadow Ball, as long as it's, as long as the type you're desiring is really aligned to your tastes. Now, I put another coverage, whether you put Hydro Pump, you could go for Fire Blast or Thunderbolt, it's all up to you, but I go for Hydro Pump here because of on-flying news, And then finally, one of the things integral to its role is U-turn. So I put in maximize its special attack and maximize its speed. Of course, I will put Choice Scarf in there. And that's a Dragapult set. That's my Dragapult set. And another one, and I pair it with my other half of the Choice Duo. And initially, this one was this team was initially rooted from one of my Gen 7 Camomons teams, which is really one of my most successful one at the tail end of the metagame, and it's actually Haxorus. Initially, Haxorus is definitely one of the mainstays, and it's usually and mostly served as either as a Dragon Dance user or as Choice Scarf user. But in this generation, Choice Band is one of the most common so far. And the reason why Choice Band is becoming more common is because of its priority move, First Impression, and First Impression gaining Stab from the bug typing, and then taking advantage of Mold Breaker, Earthquake. Of course, I'm putting in Rock Slide and Close Combat. For Rock Slide, if you're dealing with just flying types with other typings, and Close Combat is mostly for Steel Flying Pokemon who are actually immune to Earthquake. And then maximizing its attack and speed with filler in defense, because you want it as much as possible for Haxorus to take odd HP just to take Stealth Rock as well, Stealth Rock and Spikes, so as not to faint upon switching. So, like for example, if Haxorus is in full health and then takes 25% each and every time from Spikes, yeah, 3 layers of Spikes rather, that would mean that if it's an even HP, Haxorus will be done. Yeah, be done. As compared to the even HP, as compared to the odd HP number, which lets Haxorus survive 4 hits from 3 layers of Spikes, right? So I'm putting Jolly in here because its high attack has already been monstrous. And now, since Dragapult is more of a momentum giver, and then Haxorus can sometimes lose momentum just because after First Impression hits, and then you tend to switch out. Now, this is where your defensive core comes in, and one of the most in-demand Pokemon in the Camomons metagame is Clefable, because of its ability to ignore boosting Pokemon from the likes of Nasty Plot Mew, Quiver Dance Volcarona, Calm Mind Pokemon, among others. And of course, one of the best typing so far for Clefable, not Black Glasses, my apologies, it's Black Sludge. Because one of the best typings for Clefable as a defensive Pokemon is by virtue of Knockoff and Toxic. Alright? The Dark Poison typing grants it only one weakness to ground attacks, in which Haxorus and Scizor can cover. So with Knockoff and Toxic, and then with its ability to pass wishes to almost everyone, and then putting in some EVs right here. So the reason why I put 216, there's some form of a math here. Why I put 216 EVs, and it all depends on, and it's because of the jump point. So 216 because of the special defense ending in 0 or 5. Yeah, I put 212 here, it becomes 295. As you maximize it, it becomes a jump point of 297. Alright? So this is one of the reasons why I EV'd it that way. But as for offensive Pokemon, go for Max Max. Go for Max Max unless given unlike Scizor one, which has to be customizable as to take attacks like crazy. We have Clefable, have that. If you don't really mind putting it maximum, like 248 HP, of course, for the HP number, and then 252, it doesn't matter. But if you want to take more hits, it's out of preference. And lastly, one of the Pokemon, the last Pokemon that I put in this team is Colossal. Alright? Because my team, this team without Colossal doesn't happen to have a Rapid Spinner or some form of hazard control by virtue of Defog, and it doesn't have a Stealth Rock, so that, well, it's a way of giving pressure, you know? So this is, since Clefable is a specially defensive variant, and now I have Colossal as a physical defensive variant. So if that's the case, I put Leftovers in there, and of course I'm going to put Flame Body. With that, I'm going to put Scald and Body Press, giving Colossal a water fighting type, and it's also one of the best deterrents to U-turn Pokemon because of Flame Body, resistance to U-turn, and at the same time fishing for a chance of a burn courtesy of Flame Body. And then the last two moves are of course Stealth Rock and Rapid Spin as a way of hazard control, and it really is one of the Pokemon in demand for roll compression. So in this case, I put in max HP, but in this case I'm going to put 224 HP because it's a Leftovers number. But for those who have no idea what Leftovers number is, it's actually a number wherein it's actually divisible by 16. Alright, it's divisible by 16, but you need to add 1 point so as to maximize the Leftovers number. Next, since it's a physically defensive variant, 216 again, plus a Bold Nature to maximize its defenses, and I put the rest to a special defense, or if you want a maximum one like 252 defense, it doesn't matter. Alright? Just to maximize out defenses, I guess. But overall, this is the team that I will be showcasing. I will be showcasing in tonight's for the Americans out there and for the Europeans out there, for tonight's daily tour. But in my case, it will be tomorrow in the early morning, which is 6 AM GMT plus 8. So this will be the team that I'll be showcasing later on. And with that, and this is just more of a guide, just to give you. And this is a guide as to how you build a desirable Camomons team without having to be, number one, you have to be a little OC with your moves. And of course, it definitely needs to maximize whatever you have to maximize, whether it's damage output, whether it's a damage output so that you can gain stab, or it's typing, defensive typing, just to take hits, among all other things. Now, that concludes the team building session that I have here. I'm going to tell you that despite these Pokemon right here are actually commonplace, one of the more common Pokemon, especially with Mew being the most used one, being the standard bearer of the Camomons Metagame because of the typing. It can learn literally every move from at least one move from every type. So despite that, there are a lot of Pokemon that you can use to make it shine. Like you can use a Porygon Z, you can do a Slurpuff, that is as I mentioned in the video earlier on, the Slurpuff, Alakazam, all those things, and all of them have their own advantages. Just just use them to your advantage. And probably you have to be bold in building one team. You have to be bold in choosing whatever Pokemon you like. And this is why Camomons is one of the most diverse metagames one of the most diverse metagames. I mean, one of the metagames that offers a lot of diverse, really diverse options. It really is. This is why I view this metagame as one of my favorites. Despite the deck sit being a blessing in disguise, yeah. And this is something that I really appreciate. And I guess everyone here will have some form of creativity. If you want to see more of my team building powers, I will be inviting some special guests in order to see what are their thought processes, what their thought processes are in building their teams. They have their own perspectives. They have their own perspectives. They have their own thoughts. And with that, if you want to see more about these team building sessions, feel free, and I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. And if you want me to build a Pokemon in this Camomons metagame, I encourage you to comment which Pokemon you like to build with. For example, you want to build with a certain Pokemon with the likes of Porygon Z, Braviary, Celebi, Jirachi, among all other things. Even Comfy, if you think of it. Comfy, Keldeo, whatever Pokemon. Or you could do themes as well. Like you could do Pokemon that were originally mono water, and then making a Camomons team out of it. That's fine. So again, don't forget to like the video, don't forget to comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more awesome Pokemon related content. And with that, that concludes my video, my educational video about Camomons. So I hope everyone is having a good day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay safe.